A Az.com production.
When we put new tires on Bob's car, we decided to keep the old tires and use them as planters in the back garden. Tire gardens aren't a new idea, but there is some controversy as to whether or not the tires pose a health risk. Tires do contain trace amounts of heavy metals, and that's something no one wants leaching into their garden soil. But the metals are bonded into the rubber of the tire, and so won't leach out until the outer shell, the rubber itself, begins to deteriorate. This can take years. Here in Phoenix, though, the brutal summer sun and the high temperatures can accelerate that process. So we're going to put the tires in a shady area and use them for a year or two. Should we see any deterioration before that time, we'll stop using them. In the meantime, we'll have a little tire garden in the corner of the garden. For tire gardens, you can cut the sidewall off of the tire to increase the planting area. The sidewall on these is pretty minimal, so we're going to skip that step, but you can do that. You can also paint the tires or somehow disguise the fact that they are tires if you want. We're just going to use them as is and plant.
We selected an unused area near the wall in our garden. I cleared the area of weeds and debris and raked it to smooth it out a bit. I covered the area with landscape fabric to prevent weeds and grass from growing into the tires, but still allow for drainage. I cut 2 lengths of fabric, each long enough to accommodate 2 tires, with enough space around them so I could easily harvest from the plants. I used landscape pins or staples to secure the fabric to the ground. If you don't have landscape fabric, you can use newspaper or cardboard. When planting your tire garden, make sure of the position of your tire containers. Once filled with soil, they are more or less permanent. You'd have to empty the tire to move it. With the fabric down and secured and the tires in position, the next step is to fill each tire with soil. Tires come in different sizes, so how much soil you need depends on the size of the tires you're using. Tires are basically cylinders, and you want the volume of that cylinder. Volume equals pi times radius squared times height. So our formula is 3.14 by 144, 12 squared, times 8. Equals 3,617.28 cubic inches. But we need cubic feet because that's how soil is sold. So we divide 3,617.28 by 1,728, the number of cubic inches in a cubic foot. It equals 2.09. So 2 cubic feet per tire. But you pack the soil loosely, and the interior curve around the edges reduces the volume. So I used just over 1.7 cubic feet for each tire container. I used Miracle-Gro garden soil for this project. Keep in mind, tires hold more heat than clay, ceramic, or fiberglass garden pots. So choose a soil or soil mix that drains well but won't dry out too quickly. Make sure the soil is appropriate for the types of plants you're using in this garden. I'm using seedlings purchased at the local home improvement store, planting 2 or 4 plants for each tire bed. Because the soil is a garden soil and not a potting mix, the soil should stay moist enough to support the dense plantings. With all the seedlings in their beds, it's time to water. I use a watering wand, but you could easily set up a drip system or irrigation system for your tire garden.
We planted all 4 tires. We have kale, broccoli, Texas tarragon, and red leaf lettuce. These are shallow-rooted plants which will do fine in the 8-inch depth these tires afford us. If you wanted to do something like tomatoes or cucumbers that require more depth, you would need to stack your tires. These are also shade-tolerant plants, so they'll do well over here in the shadier part of the garden. We'll see how long our tires hold up but we'll give you an update in a few weeks on how the plants did in our tire garden.
Thanks for watching.
Questions or comments? Put them in the comment section below. And subscribe to our channel for more videos on the DIY lifestyle.